I'm getting married in 6 days. The venue is booked, the flowers are ordered, and my fiancée Elena is the most incredible woman I've ever known. But 1 week ago, my ex-fiancée from 12 years ago, the woman who destroyed my life by sleeping with my cousin the night before our wedding, reached out begging me to take her back. So Elena and I spent the last 5 days making her fall in love with me all over again, convincing her I was leaving Elena for her, getting her to dump her boyfriend, and setting up a fake proposal at sunset. Then we crushed her dreams in the most brutal way possible. And we recorded every second of it. Before I go any further, drop a comment right now and tell me where you're watching from. I need to know I'm not the only one who thinks what I did was justified. Let me take you back 12 years. I was 26 years old, engaged to my high school sweetheart Vanessa. We'd been together for 10 years. 10 years. We'd lived together for the last 5 of those years, shared everything, built a life together. I thought I knew her better than I knew myself. Our wedding was planned for a Saturday in June. Everything was perfect. Or so I thought. The night before the wedding, Vanessa told me I needed to stay at a hotel. She said it was bad luck for us to see each other before the ceremony, that we needed to stay separately to keep the tradition. I thought it was sweet, actually. Romantic. So I packed a bag and checked into a hotel downtown, thinking about how the next time I saw her, she'd be walking down the aisle toward me. But I'd forgotten my cufflinks. These weren't just any cufflinks, they were my grandfather's, passed down to me specifically for my wedding day. They meant everything to me. Around 11 that night, I realized they were still in our bedroom dresser. The hotel was only 20 minutes from our house, so I figured I'd just drive back, grab them, and return without Vanessa even knowing I'd been there. When I pulled into our driveway, I noticed something strange. The lights were off in the living room. Vanessa hated darkness. She was the kind of person who left every light on when she moved through the house, drove me crazy with the electricity bills. Seeing the house dark felt wrong, but I figured maybe she'd remembered for once. I used my key and let myself in quietly. I didn't want to wake her if she'd already gone to bed. I headed straight for the bedroom, still thinking about those cufflinks, about how I'd wear them tomorrow when I became a husband. I opened the bedroom door. What I saw next destroyed me completely. Vanessa was in our bed. Our bed. With my younger cousin Julian. They were so caught up in what they were doing that they didn't even notice me at first. I stood there frozen, my hand still on the doorknob, unable to process what my eyes were showing me. This couldn't be real. This had to be a nightmare. We were getting married tomorrow. Tomorrow. It took maybe 5 seconds before they noticed me. 5 seconds that felt like 5 hours. When Vanessa finally looked up and saw me standing there, her face went white. She scrambled to cover herself, started saying my name, but I couldn't hear her. There was this ringing in my ears, this pressure in my chest like I couldn't breathe. I turned and ran. Just ran. Out of the house, into my car, and I drove. I don't even remember the drive back to the hotel. I just remember sitting in the parking lot, hyperventilating, refusing to believe what I'd just seen. I was supposed to get married tomorrow. Tomorrow. How was this happening? It took me an hour to stop shaking enough to function. Then I did what I had to do. I canceled everything. The venue, the caterers, the flowers, the photographer. Every single thing. I didn't care how much money I lost. I called my parents at midnight and told them what had happened. My mother cried. My father went silent in that way that meant he was angrier than I'd ever heard him. Vanessa tried calling me 47 times that night. 47. She sent me text after text, saying it was a one-time mistake, that she'd freaked out about the wedding and needed to blow off steam, that Julian had always been there for her and she didn't know who else to turn to. She actually tried to explain herself. As if there was any explanation that could make walking in on your fiancé with your own cousin acceptable. I blocked her number. Blocked Julian's too. My parents cut Julian off completely. He was 22 at the time, 4 years younger than me, and he betrayed me in the worst way possible. My family made it clear he was no longer welcome. I thought that was the end of it. I thought I'd never have to deal with Vanessa again. I was wrong. The next 12 years passed slowly at first, then faster. I battled depression. Went to therapy. Slowly rebuilt my life. I threw myself into my career as a marketing consultant, worked my way up, became successful. I dated occasionally but never seriously. I couldn't trust anyone. Not after that. Then 4 years ago, I met Elena. Elena is a corporate event planner, brilliant at her job, organized and creative in ways that constantly surprise me. But more than that, she's honest. She's loyal. She's everything Vanessa wasn't. When I told her about what happened 12 years ago, she didn't run. She understood. She'd been cheated on before too, though not in a relationship as long as mine had been. She got it. She got me. We took things slow. I needed slow. But over 4 years, I fell completely in love with her. 6 months ago, I proposed. She said yes. We set a wedding date. And for the first time since I was 26 years old, I felt genuinely happy. Like I'd finally moved past what Vanessa had done to me. Until 7 days ago. I was scrolling through Instagram when I saw a message request from an account I didn't recognize. The username was just random letters and numbers. I almost didn't open it. But something made me click. It was Vanessa. She'd created a new account because I'd blocked her original one years ago. The message was long, rambling, desperate. She said she'd heard through mutual friends that I was getting married. She said she was devastated. She said I was the only man she'd ever loved, that she'd made the biggest mistake of her life 12 years ago, and she was begging me to give her another chance. I stared at that message for a full minute, my hands actually shaking. The audacity. The absolute audacity of this woman to contact me 1 week before my wedding. 1 week. After what she'd done to me, sleeping with my cousin the night before we were supposed to get married, she thought she could just reach out now and I'd what? Take her back? I showed the message to Elena immediately. We don't keep secrets. She read it, and I watched her face change. She got this expression I'd never seen before, cold, calculated, almost predatory. Don't block her yet, she said. I looked at her, confused. What do you mean? I mean I have a better idea. She handed me back my phone. She destroyed your wedding 12 years ago. Let's destroy whatever dreams she has now. We stayed up all night talking about it. Elena had been cheated on in a previous relationship. It wasn't 10 years like mine had been, but she understood the pain. She understood wanting revenge. And she had a plan. Before we do anything, she said, we need to know everything about her current life. We need leverage. The next morning, Elena made a phone call to a private investigator she knew through her event planning work. She explained what we needed. The PI said he'd have a full report in 48 hours. Those 48 hours felt endless. I kept looking at Vanessa's message, at her desperate words, and I felt this dark satisfaction building in my chest. She wanted to ruin my life again. Well, this time, I was going to ruin hers first. 2 days later, the PI called. His report was even better than we'd hoped. Vanessa had been obsessed with me for 12 years. She'd created a burner Instagram account 3 years ago and had been watching my stories, my posts, everything. The PI had accessed her apartment, don't ask me how, and found she had a framed screenshot of my engagement announcement to Elena. Framed. Sitting on her bedroom dresser like a shrine. But it got worse. She was in therapy, and she'd apparently told her therapist she was still in love with her ex-fiancé from 12 years ago and couldn't move on. The PI had connections who'd confirmed this through someone at the practice. Most importantly, Vanessa was currently in a relationship. A 6-month relationship with a guy named Ryan, a firefighter, decent guy by all accounts. And Ryan had absolutely no idea that his girlfriend was obsessed with me. Oh, and Vanessa had recently quit her job as a dental hygienist. She was doing gig work, DoorDash, Instacart, barely making ends meet. She was vulnerable. Desperate. Perfect. When Elena read that report, she smiled. It was terrifying and beautiful at the same time. She has a boyfriend, I said. An innocent guy who has no idea his girlfriend is crazy. He deserves to know who he's dating, Elena said. We'd be doing him a favor. She was right. But there was something else I needed for this plan to work. We need Julian, I said. Elena looked at me. Your cousin? The one you haven't spoken to in 12 years. Yes. I need to know if he'll help. That night, I called Julian for the first time since the night before my wedding 12 years ago. My hands were shaking when I dialed. The phone rang 3 times before he picked up. Hello? His voice was deeper than I remembered. Older. It's me, I said. There was a long silence. Then, oh my God. I never thought I'd hear from you again. We talked for an hour. He apologized immediately, said he'd been in therapy for years dealing with the guilt of what he'd done. He was married now, living in Seattle, had a 2-year-old daughter. He'd become a completely different person. A better person. When I told him why I was calling, when I explained that Vanessa had reached out to me and I wanted revenge, he didn't hesitate. Anything, he said. I'll do anything to make this right. He booked a flight for 4 days later. The pieces were falling into place. Now came the hard part. Making Vanessa fall in love with me all over again. Elena coached me on exactly what to say. She's brilliant at understanding psychology, at knowing how to manipulate emotions. It's what makes her so good at her job. And now she was using those skills to help me destroy the woman who destroyed me. Following Elena's script, I responded to Vanessa's message. I got your message, I typed. I'm confused. I need time to think about this. I hit send. Vanessa responded within 30 seconds. Oh my God. Thank you for responding. Take all the time you need. I'll wait forever if I have to. Elena read over my shoulder. Good. Now wait 3 hours before responding again. Make her anxious. Those 3 hours passed slowly. Vanessa sent 14 more messages during that time, each one more desperate than the last. Finally, Elena nodded at me. Okay. Time for the next one. I typed, I can't stop thinking about your message. Send. Instant response from Vanessa. A paragraph about how she'd been thinking about me constantly for 12 years, how she'd never stopped loving me, how she knew we were meant to be together. By the end of day 1, Vanessa had sent 47 messages. I'd sent 5. And she was completely under our control. Over the next 2 days, I escalated. I sent her flirty messages, nostalgic references to our 10 years together. I'd say things like, remember that night at the lake when I told you I wanted to spend my life with you? I still think about that. She'd respond with paragraphs. Essays. She'd tell me she thought about that night every single day. That we were meant to be together. That she knew it now. By day 3, she was sending me photos of herself. Getting dressed up, doing her makeup, trying to remind me of who she used to be. She was talking about our future together. Completely convinced I was considering leaving Elena for her. Elena would sit next to me while I sent these messages, coaching me on each word. We'd screenshot everything. Document it all. And sometimes, when Vanessa would say something particularly desperate, Elena and I would look at each other and just laugh. Dark, satisfied laughter. I felt guilty for maybe 5 seconds. Then I'd remember walking into my bedroom 12 years ago and seeing her with Julian. The guilt disappeared. On day 3, Vanessa sent the message that changed everything. I need to tell Ryan it's over. I can't keep pretending when my heart belongs to you. Elena and I stared at that message. She's going to dump her boyfriend for you, Elena said slowly. This is working better than we planned. Part of me felt bad for Ryan. He was an innocent person about to get hurt. But Elena was right, he deserved to know who he was dating. A woman who would dump him via text for an ex-fiancé who hadn't spoken to her in 12 years. Let her do it, I said. Then we make our move. The next day, Vanessa sent me a screenshot. She'd broken up with Ryan. Via text. Just like that. The screenshot showed Ryan responding with confusion and hurt. You said you needed space to work on yourself, he'd written back. What's really going on? She'd lied to him. Of course she had. Vanessa's message to me, I did it. I ended things with Ryan. I'm all yours now. That's when I sent her the message that would set everything in motion. Meet me tomorrow at sunset. You know where. The overlook where I first told you I loved you. We're something special. I'm going to ask you something important. Her response was instant. 17 heart emojis. She had absolutely no idea what was coming. The next morning, everything came together. Julian's flight landed at 10. I picked him up from the airport. It was the first time I'd seen him in 12 years. He looked different. Older, obviously, but also, changed. There was something in his eyes, a weight that hadn't been there before. Guilt, maybe. Or just the years. Thank you for doing this, I said as we drove. I owe you this, he said. And so much more. We drove to my parents' house. I'd warned them Julian was coming. When we walked in, my mother started crying immediately. She hugged him. My father stood there for a moment, then pulled him into an embrace too. You've grown up, my father said. I'm trying to be better, Julian replied. I'm trying to make amends. It was emotional. Messy. But necessary. By noon, everyone was assembled at my house. Elena had brought in Melissa, a professional videographer she worked with. Melissa specialized in documentary-style filming and had agreed to film everything that was about to happen. But there was one more person we needed. Elena had contacted Ryan through social media the night before. She'd shown him screenshots of Vanessa's messages to me, proof that she'd been calling him, just a distraction until I can get my real love back. Ryan was furious. He wanted to confront her. He wanted to see her face when she realized what she'd done. So we invited him. When Ryan arrived, he looked exactly like his profile pictures, fit, early 30s, firefighter's build. He looked hurt and angry in equal measure. She told me she loved me, he said. 3 weeks ago. She told me I was the one. She's a liar, Elena said simply. Always has been. We briefed everyone on the plan. I'd meet Vanessa at the overlook at 6:30 for sunset. I'd be standing by the railing, dressed in my navy suit. Melissa would hide in the bushes with her camera equipment, capturing everything. Julian would hide behind the large oak tree on the left side of the overlook. Elena would position herself behind a cluster of trees on the right. Ryan would wait in the parking area, out of sight. I had a small velvet ring box in my pocket. Inside wasn't a ring. It was a photo. A photo from 12 years ago that I'd found on an old external hard drive. A still frame from our home security camera footage. A photo of Vanessa and Julian in my bed. At 4 in the afternoon, we all drove separately to the overlook. It was a 20-minute drive from my house, up a winding road to a scenic lookout point over the valley. This was where I'd first told Vanessa I loved her, 20 years ago when we were just teenagers. Now it was where I'd destroy her. We arrived early. Melissa scouted the best position for her camera and set up in the bushes. She had a clear sightline to where I'd be standing. Julian positioned himself behind the oak tree. Elena found her spot behind the pines. Ryan stayed near the parking area, pacing, nervous energy radiating off him. I stood alone by the railing, looking out over the valley. The sun was beginning its descent, painting everything gold. It was beautiful. Almost too beautiful for what we were about to do. My phone buzzed. A text from Elena, everyone in position? I checked my walkie-talkie. Melissa? Camera rolling. Clear sight lines. Julian? Ready. Ryan? Let's do this. Elena? Destroy her. At 6:28, I saw a car pull into the parking lot. A white sedan. Vanessa was 2 minutes early. Elena's voice crackled over the walkie-talkie. Showtime. I watched Vanessa get out of her car. Even from this distance, I could see she'd dressed up. A white dress. White. Like a bride. The symbolism was so obvious it was almost funny. She spotted me by the railing and started walking toward me. No, not walking. Running. She ran to me, her heels clicking on the pavement, and threw her arms around me. I can't believe this is happening, she said, crying. Already crying. Happy tears. I've dreamed of this moment for 12 years. I pulled back and looked at her. She'd gotten her hair done professionally. Full makeup. She'd spent the entire day preparing for this. For her proposal. For her fairy tale ending. I've been thinking about us constantly, I said, taking her hands. About what we had. About what we could have again. I knew we were meant to be together, she said. I always knew. She had no idea that 4 people were watching from hiding. That a camera was recording every word. That her life was about to fall apart. I need to do this right, I said. And I got down on one knee. Vanessa gasped. She was already crying harder, nodding, saying yes, before I'd even opened the ring box. She couldn't help herself. This was everything she'd wanted. I pulled the small velvet box from my pocket. My hands were steady. Completely steady. Before you say anything, I said, looking up at her, I need you to see something. I opened the box. She looked down. Her face went from pure joy to confusion in an instant. She stared at the photo inside, not understanding at first. Not processing. What is this? She whispered. That's you, I said calmly, still on one knee. 12 years ago. In my bed. Destroying my life. The color drained from her face. She stared at the photo, a freeze frame of her and Julian, caught mid-act by a security camera I'd forgotten existed. The timestamp was visible, the night before our wedding, 11:47 p.m. No, she said, shaking her head. No, why do you have this? Why? That's when Julian stepped out from behind the oak tree. Hey, Vanessa, he said. Long time. She spun around so fast she nearly fell. She looked between me and Julian, her mouth opening and closing, no words coming out. Then Elena stepped out from the other side. Leaving so soon? Elena asked. But you just got engaged. Vanessa whipped back around. What is this? What's happening? Ryan emerged from the parking area, walking toward us. It's called consequences, he said. You told me 3 hours ago you needed to break up to work on yourself. Turns out you were leaving me for your ex-fiancé, who's actually getting married to someone else in 2 days. Vanessa was hyperventilating now, looking between all 4 of us, surrounded. I don't understand. What is this? Melissa stepped out of the bushes with her camera. You filmed this? Vanessa screamed. I stood up, brushing off my knee. For insurance. In case you ever try to contact me again. She was shaking. Tears streaming down her face. Not happy tears anymore. Real ones. You contacted me 1 week before my wedding, I said. You tried to ruin my life again. So I decided to give you exactly what you wanted, a proposal from me at sunset at the place where we fell in love. Hope it was everything you dreamed of. Please don't do this, she sobbed. I love you. I've always loved you. You never loved me, I said. You loved the attention. The control. Well, you don't have it anymore. Julian spoke up quietly. I'm sorry for what I did 12 years ago. But I'm not sorry for this. You needed to understand what you did to him. Ryan just shook his head and walked back toward his car. He'd seen enough. I took Elena's hand. Our wedding is in 2 days. You're not invited. Actually, you're never invited anywhere in my life ever again. We turned and walked away. All of us, me, Elena, Julian, and Melissa. We left Vanessa standing alone at that overlook, in her white dress, as the sun set behind her. The sound of her sobbing followed us all the way to the parking lot. We drove away in separate cars. Nobody spoke. We didn't need to. In 2 days, I'd be marrying Elena. And Vanessa would be nothing but a memory I'd finally put to rest. Comment below right now. Comment 1 if you think we went too far. Comment 2 if you think Vanessa got exactly what she deserved. Because what happened next made things even more complicated. The wedding was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Elena looked stunning. The ceremony was beautiful. All our friends and family were there, including Julian. His wife had flown in with him, and seeing my parents welcome him back after 12 years was one of the most emotional moments of the day. There was no sign of Vanessa anywhere. We'd won. It was over. Or so I thought. We were on our way to the honeymoon suite when my phone buzzed. Instagram notification. Then another. Then another. 7 total. All from different accounts I didn't recognize. All from Vanessa. She'd created 7 fake Instagram accounts. The messages ranged from apologetic, "I'm so sorry, I was confused, please forgive me," to threatening, "You'll regret humiliating me like this." Elena documented every single one. The next day, while we were supposed to be enjoying our first day as a married couple, Vanessa showed up at my office. The building security escorted her out, but not before she caused a scene in the lobby, screaming about how I'd betrayed her. Then she drove to Elena's office. Elena called the police immediately. Officers arrived and gave Vanessa a warning to stay away. That night, Vanessa posted on social media that she was going to object during the ceremony and tell everyone the truth about what kind of man he really is. She didn't realize the ceremony had already happened. The next morning, Elena's lawyer called. "I can get you an emergency restraining order today. But I need everything, the video from the overlook, the screenshots of the fake accounts, the police report. All of it." We gathered everything and met him at the courthouse. The judge reviewed Melissa's video footage from the overlook. She watched Vanessa's face as I opened that ring box. She read through the Instagram messages from the 7 fake accounts. She looked at the police report from Elena's office. Then she signed the restraining order without hesitation. 500 feet at all times, the judge said. No contact, no social media mentions, nothing. If she violates this, she goes to jail. A police officer served Vanessa the restraining order at 2 that afternoon. Our original wedding ceremony had been at 4 the previous day. Perfect timing. That afternoon, Elena and I finally flew to Greece for our honeymoon. 10 days of no phones, no drama, just us. When we landed back home, I had one voicemail. From Ryan. I listened to it while Elena unpacked. "Hey man, it's Ryan. I just wanted to give you an update. After everything that happened, I posted the full story on my Facebook. I didn't use names, but I explained how my ex had dumped me to get back with her ex-fiancé who was actually getting married to someone else. The post went viral in our community. And you wouldn't believe what happened, 3 other guys came forward. 3. All saying she'd done similar things to them. Obsessive behavior, manipulation, the works. Her therapist even dropped her as a client after seeing that video from the overlook. Apparently, she violated some kind of boundary or ethics thing. Last I heard, she moved back in with her parents. I just wanted to say thank you. You saved me from wasting any more time on her. Take care." The voicemail ended. I looked at Elena. "Ryan posted about it," I said. 3 other guys came forward with similar stories. Elena shook her head. She had a pattern. We just didn't know how deep it went. 6 months passed. Life was good. Better than good. Elena and I settled into married life. My relationship with Julian continued to heal. We weren't best friends or anything, but we were talking again. He'd come back for Christmas with his family. My parents loved his daughter. Then one day, Elena came home with news that changed everything. "I'm pregnant," she said. I was going to be a father. After everything that had happened, after all the pain and healing, I was getting the life I'd always wanted. That night, we announced it on social media. Just a simple post with a photo of baby shoes. Within an hour, I got a direct message from an account I didn't recognize. "Congratulations. I hope you're happy." It was Vanessa. I screenshot the message immediately and sent it to our lawyer. Another violation of the restraining order. Another fake account to document. But I didn't respond. I just blocked the account. Elena noticed my expression. Was that her? Yeah. One last message. Congratulating us on the baby. Are you going to respond? No. She's already taken up too much of my life. This ends now. I meant it. I blocked the account, added the screenshot to our restraining order file, and deleted the message. A week later, through mutual friends, I heard Vanessa had moved to Arizona. Starting over. Trying to move on. I hoped she did. Not for her sake, I genuinely didn't care about her anymore. But for whoever she might hurt next. I hope she got the help she needed. As for me, I got my revenge. I got my closure. And most importantly, I got the happy ending I deserved. My only regret is that I didn't do it sooner. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my story. A lot of people have asked if I feel guilty about what I did. The answer is no. Not even a little bit. She destroyed my wedding 12 years ago. She tried to destroy my second chance at happiness. And she got exactly what she deserved. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe because I'll be sharing more stories of justice and revenge. Comment below. Would you have done the same thing? Thank you for watching. See you in next one.